So talking about the interaction that you're having with some of these robots, do you feel that the human biases of the people who are building and designing these robots are actually impacting the kind of interaction we're having with it on the other end?
Yeah, I think initially we had robots that were being built to the, to the biases and desires and imagination of the robot builders. And also to the limitations of the form factor around certain things. So some robots came out looking female simply because you needed to have a wider hip base to incorporate whatever the mechanisms being used were. And other robots came out looking something different. So we started off with purely physical, mechanical limitations, but then they became creatures of the imagination. And what's worrisome is that that starts to perpetuate biases and stereotypes. Now, just as quickly as people start to become more informed and be looking at good design, I think we also have a negative pressure from businesses who can already quantify our responses to merchandising and start to use certain genders, voices, and appearances based on what they've assessed is going to give us the most accurate,
the best
what's
trigger,
going to give
if you
them
will,
the best trigger, exactly. And one of the things that someone's brought up is, where are the black robots? So you already have lack of representation, but I think the lack of representation is going to continue in really bad ways. Someone has expressed it really nicely, and they've said that stereotypes are not a problem because they're false. They're a problem because they're only one of the truths. And whenever you use the stereotype, you ignore all of the other truths. Mm-hmm. And so when we use those stereotype robots, we're forcing a convergence on a very narrow set of representations that may be true and may be effective, but are going to do away with having any of the other true representations.
It's going to be very off-putting for a lot of people too, right? If you're not in that target demographic, you're going to feel like, I don't relate, I don't like the way that this thing is, portraying itself to me. It's very off-putting too, right?
We're going to see some very clear things around, say, one of the things that I've been tracking is the use of gendered stereotypes in work positions. So kiosk robots are tending to being female, assistant robots, female, authoritative robots, male. Now, how do women break through the glass ceiling if we are creating a robotically amplified world in which women are the assistants and service providers rather than the executives or leaders mm-hmm. or people with the voice of authority? This will be sending us a few steps backwards, and we won't even see it coming.